Take the show with you wherever you go via the internet device, CoreyTalks.com, CoreyTalks.com, live streaming there. And we're on YouTube last few months, have our own YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Don't cost nothing. Click to subscribe. Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground on YouTube. 3 strikes, and apparently the mayor's still not out. The target in the East. Last week was a banner week. Target in the East is coming. Target not so fast. We're keeping our fingers crossed that still happens. Then there might not be a Mardi Gras. If we don't get our police thing straight, yes, send that message out to folks that are planning to come to Mardi Gras. This would be the planning time for families. You know, really late families planning late. Hey, let's go to Mardi Gras in 6 months. I mean, normally it's a year out. So anyone planning their trip might change it. Wow, it's a precarious situation apparently in New Orleans. We're 6 months out. Let's push Mardi Gras back till next year or the year after when they get their you-know-what together, and we'll go to the Grand Canyon this year. The mayor's sending out terrible messages. And now showing up for this 13-year-old, non-remorseful criminal, when the judge was like, do you have anything to say to the victims? Nah. It's a weird town we live in, New Orleans. There is a violent crime problem, not just a crime problem, like property crime, violent crime, nearly twice the national average, nearly double the national average in New Orleans. One of the most violent crime cities in America, sometimes making top 50 most violent cities in the world. New Orleans, it's crazy. And these woke judges, and I don't know, I want to praise the DA, seems to be changing his tune. Maybe it's got the federal, trial, all that behind him, innocent, moving forward now. He's ticked off about this. But Judge Darrensburg basically lets this 13-year-old carjacker off and really had nothing for the 2 victims. And you know who shows up supporting the 13-year-old carjacker? Mayor LaToya Cantrell. 3 strikes, you're out. The target in the East, no Mardi Gras, now showing up for the 13-year-old criminal. And shame on Judge Darrensburg. 3 months probation. Yeah, he's just a kid. We're trying to get him through the program. How about the 2 young ladies that are, I don't know, look like they're college age maybe, 19, 20, 21. I'll get their age in a second. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I think there was just this attitude with the mayor, with the judge, just sort of, man, these are some white, affluent, uptown girls, white, affluent, uptown girls. They're going to be just fine. They've got family. They've got friends. They've got support. They've got money. They've got a future in front of them. Getting traumatized by some insane 13-year-old criminal in New Orleans with a gun. And then once again, just the kid getting a slap on the wrist. There's nothing that would make this kid go, wow, I better not do that again. I better not do that again. What it makes the kid do is, how do I not get caught the next time I do this? So I don't have to deal with these folks that are going to let me off the hook. No, the mayor's showing up for the 13-year-old criminal and the 13-year-old criminal's family, showing support at the trial is absolutely insane. Insane. The target, I shouldn't be saying this, but it's Target, y'all. I'll jeopardize the whole thing to tell a few dozen folks so we can get some hugs and kisses as I leave here and I can feel good because y'all made me feel good. I told you Target. Well, let me just ready, fire, aim again. If the target wasn't enough, we may cancel Mardi Gras. I'm the mayor. It's a responsible thing for me to say. And then showing up for court, 13-year-old carjacker, 2 victims that are traumatized, young girls. Yeah, they white, uptown, affluent, maybe so. What's that matter? That they get less justice than some other race or socioeconomic level? I don't get it. I don't get it. Seriously. It's crazy. Do you have anything to say to the victims? Nah. Yeah, that kid's really on the track to reform and feels regretful and remorseful. The consequences are really hitting him hard, that 13-year-old kid. That 13-year-old kid is laughing. The mayor showed up for me. Laughing. Nothing. That kid's not changing. Junket Cantrell, that kid's like going, man, Junket showed up. I got to show some respect. Are you kidding me? Kids figuring out at 13 without a driver's license how to carjack again and do it properly. Not thinking about, boy, I got a second chance or a 10th chance or a 30th chance. 3 strikes and you're still in. It's T-ball with the mayor. Target, no Mardi Gras. And now, hey, let's fight for the 13-year-old criminal. I don't know if you noticed, but New Orleans is hemorrhaging not only affluent white people, but affluent black folks, folks with wherewithal, black or white, fleeing the city. I've been talking about this for about 2 years now. Poster boy Jay Batt just yelled it from the mountaintop and people ignored it. It's crazy. Hemorrhaging New Orleans and no one cares to stop the bleeding. Who were Karen Carter Peterson's accomplices? The money funnelers. NOLA.com had a piece on that. NOLA.com also doing an article or articles on New Orleans East. Got a question for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Why no retail in New Orleans East? Why no retail in New Orleans East? Why no real restaurants in New Orleans East? Hard to find a grocery store in New Orleans East. Why no retail in New Orleans East? Why are retailers, national chains, big companies avoiding New Orleans East? Why? Look at Chalmette post-Katrina. White, black, Latino, big gumbo down there. Look at the growth they've had. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you just since 1940, before World War II started. Truly a New Orleans institution. If you want to experience the best dry cleaner, youngsdrycleaning.com. Online, youngsdrycleaning.com.
Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spots. NOLAAC.com, your cool spots.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie. The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms, with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Rouse's Market's phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. That's how you can participate into the program if you're listening on the radio, watching on TV, listening on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Rouse's Market's phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. 3 strikes, apparently you're in. It's T-ball. Everyone gets a hit. Mayor Cantrell, just in like 6 days. The Target announcement in New Orleans East, that was premature. No Mardi Gras, possibly because of a police shortage. Just insane. Crazy. And then showing up for the 13-year-old. You know, victims go to court for this teen robber's sentencing to make sure he gets sentenced. If they don't show up, then they let him go. You got to show up. So they, out of their schedule, already inconvenienced, they were mugged, carjacked by this loser. And they show up and LaToya Cantrell sitting with the loser, with the criminal, supporting the family. And Judge Darrensburg, obviously insanely affected by this. And Judge Darrensburg apparently hyper woke because, hey, let's give this 13-year-old another chance or two, and does not give a crap about the victims. And that just sends a terrible message to New Orleans that, hey, if you're a criminal, for the criminal's point of view, hey, criminals, don't worry about it, especially if you're in Darrensburg court, you're going to just get out. You're going to get off. And the mayor might even show up and support it. And hey, black, white, anyone that's a normal citizen that's trying to get ahead, you might get carjacked and there'll be no justice for you. You can fight through it. The cards are with you. The cards are stacked against the 13-year-old. We have to bend over backwards and help him while screwing over the 2 victims. and that they're traumatized. Who cares? They're white, affluent, uptown girls. They'll be just fine. They've got the support system in place. This 13-year-old does not, so the mayor is going to support them. What message does that send to those victims when they look over in this courtroom that they don't want to show up at, but have to make sure justice is served, and the mayor's with the 13-year-old carjacker, the criminal, and then the judge sides with the criminal. 3 months probation, nothing. Criminals trying to figure out how to do it again. This kid will pop up again on this show within 90 days, 120 days, 150 days, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And we'll talk about it, and people go, that's incredible. And I'll go, I told you 3 more months ago. Meaningless. Unbelievable. The target's coming, no Mardi Gras, and then showing up in court with the 13-year-old criminal. Crazy. Who in that group is part of society, and who in that group is not part of society at all or out of touch with reality and society living in New Orleans? What part of that group? Phone lines are open. We take all comers, agree, disagree. Not scared to take your calls. Don't be scared to comment. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Who were Karen Carter Peterson's accomplices? I mean, it's funny. We were talking last week, the mayor. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's like the sheriff with her communications director, this disbarred, disgraced attorney that's got problems, and hires him as communications director. And then this disbarred attorney's mother works for the sheriff and makes like $160,000 a year. It's unbelievable. Just the nepotism or close to it, paying back favors, and just in an overt, in-your-face way, not even trying to sneak it under the radar. Just do not care. Here's payback. What does the disbarred attorney do? And what does the mother do? What does the mother do where she earns the $160,000 a year? It's crazy. I'm sorry. Deborah Chapman makes $155,000 a year. Doing what job at the jail again? So you get that, and then you get the mayor. She makes Jay Banks some, ambassador to BS, I think is what it is. Urban policy specialist. Why do we hire people, first off, that aren't special, that aren't leaders, that aren't difference makers, that aren't change agents, that aren't hyper intelligent? And then why do we hire them when they've got problems to boot? Could you imagine the Saints or any team doing that? Hey, let's bring in the marginal player that's probably not going to contribute and could be problems for us and be a locker room, distraction. It's not done. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Why no retail in New Orleans East? Why no retail in New Orleans East? The answer is so easy. A lot of folks are scared to say why no retail in New Orleans East. It's a color, but it's not white or black. That's an incidental. It's a color. It's green. There's no money in New Orleans East. Period. End of story. And I'm not a former FM disc jockey that goes, hey, I said it, y'all. It's out there. Just do my research and know the information. Middle class. There's black middle class. That's not regular New Orleans middle class when you throw everyone in the gumbo. You pull black folks aside as one group, only black. There's definitely a black middle class. You put that, quote, black middle class into the gumbo with black folks, white folks, Latino, Asian, everybody in New Orleans, and they're not middle class. They're lower middle class by thousands and thousands of dollars, like north of $1,000 a month. So north of $1,000 a month, All these folks in New Orleans East compared to the rest of New Orleans on average, north of $1,000 cash in your pocket a month. That's not a lot of disposable income to go to the Applebee's and, the retailers and clothing stores and do all that. So there's a reason New Orleans East doesn't have a lot of retail. New Orleans East doesn't have a lot of disposable income. It is a lower middle class, 80,000 people strong. It's not a lot of rich folks in New Orleans East. There's not a lot of middle class folks in New Orleans East, sadly. Ed joins us in Metri on the program. How are you, Ed?
Hey, doing pretty good. I just want to give you two comments. I'll listen to your answer. One, I guarantee, like you guarantee he's going to be back in jail, a 13-year-old. I guarantee he's going to be on the mayor's payroll doing a summertime job up there. They're good for that.
Second of all, that's a wild
one. The reason why they're not going to have a target in New Orleans East is because it'll be shoplifted to death.
That Walmart, I think, at the River Bend's one of the most shoplifted, or has the most incidents of shoplifting in the entire Walmart chain, if I'm not mistaken. So, we have a crime problem. So that target would be cameraed up and securityed up, and probably like Walgreens, stuff behind plastic, get a clerk to help you, that kind of stuff. I guess so, Ed.
Well, we did a detail out there at the Walmart, and you couldn't pay me to work there. They just walk right with loaded baskets of groceries, run out the store with people waiting for them.
Some of the theft, you can watch theft not only in New Orleans but nationwide in America, and just some brazen criminals. These big these high-end stores where they're going into like a Louis Vuitton and stealing, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand in bags and stuff. These crash and whatever, stash or crash or whatever the hell it's called. It's
right. They do that.
It's insane.
And like you said, white, black, yellow, green. During the riots during the summer, they showed a surfing store getting ripped off by these surfing guys, and they weren't black. So everybody's got
Surf's
the idea.
up, Ed. All right,
you have a good one.
YOLO, bro. That's Ed in Metri joining us on the program. Yeah, you're right. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Reasonable, thoughtful, common sense talk, fact base. That's how we do it. We don't lean left. We don't lean right. Sometimes we offend conservatives. Sometimes we offend liberals. Sometimes we don't. We don't try to offend anybody. Just try to go where the facts lead us. Just the facts, ma'am. No, why no retail in New Orleans East? Because there's no money in New Orleans East, period, end of story. What do you think home ownership is in New Orleans East? It's lots of apartments and rentals. Like a lot of New Orleans East is rental property. And yes, someone owns that home, and they might own half a dozen homes and rent them out, and they don't live in New Orleans East. No, I'll tell you why there is a population in New Orleans East. I mean, there are some parts of New Orleans East that are nice, and they are even rough, like Eastover. I mean, how'd you like to buy a home on a golf course, and Katrina knocks out the golf course, and then the owner of the community sells the golf course off, not like literally like dig holes in it and sell the land so folks can build levee and flood protection projects, selling the land, the dirt for a premium to the government at a crazy prices, and just, I don't know, wrecking home values, I would think, at Eastover. You don't live on hole 5 anymore. You live on a big sand dune or where a whole golf course used to be, and we don't cut it that often, and it's a foot high of grass. I don't know. So even the nice places out in the East have problems, have difficulties. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I mean, the East kind of survives, I think, because of money.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix-fixe meals, $25 or less for lunch and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
I got a buddy of mine, waits tables, an acquaintance, and he lives in New Orleans East, lives in a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms. He's married with a couple of kids, and it's about $1,000 a month. It's about $1,000 a month. And I just asked him, why do you live in the East? He goes, I'd like to live in Metairie or Kenner or New Orleans. And that same apartment would be like $1,800, maybe $2,000 a month. So he's saving about $700-800 a month. And if he makes, I don't know, 30-40 grand a year, and his wife makes something like that, yeah, they might make 60-70 grand, $700 a month. You know, that ends up being like that savings is like 10% of their money, their gross. So it's more than that when it's net. Might be like 15, 18%, a sixth, a seventh of their money that, hey, better to live in New Orleans East than the convenient place because the rent's $700-800 more. So no, New Orleans East has no retail, doesn't have a lot of restaurant. Man, why don't we have all this stuff? Because there isn't enough money in New Orleans East. There's no, hey, we're against black folks. The opposite. If there were black folks that had money or Martians that had money, there are retailers that are colorblind that could give a crap. They go where the money is. Do not care if you're black, white, Latino, Asian, poor neighborhood, rich neighborhood, whatever. If that seedy, I don't say poor neighborhood, seedy neighborhood has money, they're there. They're there. There are too many examples of that all around America. No, people have this big question mark. Why no money in New Orleans East? I mean, why no retail in New Orleans East? Because there's not enough money in New Orleans East. There's not enough disposable money. I mean, God, look around New Orleans East if you live out there. Your neighbor, you, everybody. Hey, if there were restaurants, we'd be going there. We'd be tipping 20%. We'd be going to the dry cleaner all the time. We would be buying clothes from the retailer if they'd close out here. You're not doing all that without all that near you. So what makes you go do it if it was near you? You know what the middle class income is in New Orleans? The whole city, New Orleans East included, Uptown, Lakeview, all of Orleans Parish. The middle class income, not the average income or median income. That's like 40-something thousand. Middle class is $55,000. New Orleans East is in the 30s. So $55,000 middle class income with New Orleans East included. Then there's the median income family of 4 in New Orleans, and it's about, which is lower than middle class, it's about 40-something thousand, and New Orleans East is 30-something thousand. Might be $20,000 less than the middle class, everyone in New Orleans income. I don't make up the numbers like, dude, you don't know. My neighbor's rich as can be. I hear you. I know people that live in New Orleans East. It's not like there's no money out there. But overall, there's the majority of folks out there, they rent, paycheck to paycheck, job to job, and there's not a lot of money out there, and there's not a lot of disposable income where you're going to go do things that are luxury type items, go out to dinner, get stuff dry cleaned more often than usual, go out to clubs and bars, and they don't have any of that out there. There's none of that. Hard to find a grocery store in New Orleans East because there's no money. I don't make the rules. I'm just breaking it down. You disagree? I'd love to hear from you. Convince me I'm wrong. There's another reason why there's no retail for going on 20, 30 plus years in New Orleans East. 766-9480. I remember going to Dillard's in the plaza pre-Katrina like 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, around 2000. I mean, it was that whole thing was imploding then. Katrina just accelerated the death. That's all. The cancer patient was dying already. 504-766-9480. No leadership, no vision. I mean, look at the New Orleans East Six Flags site. To me, it's incredible. It's on I-10 and I-510 on Interstate Corner in Orleans Parish, in New Orleans proper, but on the outskirts of the city, almost like in suburbia. That means the zoning is wide open, pretty much could do anything. I mean, I'm Mayor LaToya Cantrell. I'm getting some smart people, black, white, old, young, from New Orleans, some now hire and bring from outside. I'm like PowerPoint. I'm getting some serious presentation put together. And I'm going to go sit in front of Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's because we're the sportsman's paradise. And that could be the greatest of all time. And we don't have to make a man-made lake. Brackish, fresh, saltwater, all right there. St. Bernard Parish, the sportsman's paradise location. If that doesn't work, I go to Flying J Truck Stop. Hey, guys, y'all need to put a big truck stop here. Buc-ee's. Disney Company, everybody. I exhaust it. I go around the country, around the world. This incredible site is available. It's ripe. It's ready. runner-ups for that presentation are Drew Brees and Demario Davis. I love them as Saints, counting on Demario Davis this year. One of the best linebackers in football. I don't want him as runner-up for a project in New Orleans East. I want Bass Pro Shop 1 and Flying J Truck Stop was 2nd. Bucky's might go there too. That kind of thing. None of that. Not even an effort or a thought. They're unaware of the site. They don't know it's available. And then if they do know, you got to convince them. It's rough. It's New Orleans East. I've told you that absolutely 110% true story, not make-believe, real. I know many of the people involved. This guy picks up a lady, the site selection person, one of the key people. They've been talking for months. Bass Pro Shop Cabela's. Maybe going off that Michoud I-10 exit, out at Michoud and I-10, right near the Six Flags site. This guy picks up the lady at the airport in the morning. They drive straight out to the site. They pull up there around 10:30 in the morning. There is a car burning on fire right by the site. An abandoned car, obviously a carjacked vehicle, on fire, just burning. An insurance claim, whatever. A hulking, rusting, burned out car on fire, black smoke billowing out. My friend right there just said it went from, this is it. Wow, my life could be changing. New Orleans East could be changing. This is great for so many people involved. This lady's into it. This has to go well. Boom. Ended. Over with. I don't know if they got out of the car. That's a true story, a real story. And how many other stories that we don't know about Walt Disney World, to little things, to big things like this Bass Pro Shop that New Orleans reared its ugly head, 10:30 in the morning, a car just burning on fire out there that just, there's no other way to nix a deal more harshly than that. This guy told him just, the blood drained out of his body. Same with the Bass Pro Shop, lady who's this site approval person. But you keep trying, you keep swinging. It's years later. This is a decade ago or more. No, you try to market it properly, and it wasn't marketed right. It wasn't pushed right. And again, it's now almost a year later, and there's nothing going on. Just like I told you when it went down, it's going to be a long, long time before anything's developed at this Six Flags site that benefits anyone in New Orleans East. But New Orleans East folks are no different than other New Orleanians and Louisiana folks. Black, white, old, young, Republican, Democrat. There's a sickness with us. We believe in what we want to believe, what we hope is true, what we want to be true, not what is, not what sometimes painfully is true. We don't want to face that. We like hunting and fishing season, 3 for 1 at the bar, Mardi Gras. We like what we want to believe, like children a lot of the time, not what is blatantly right in front of us. Why no retail in New Orleans East? Because there's no money in New Orleans East. Period. End of story. Not enough disposable income in New Orleans East. Anyone in New Orleans East want to call the program? 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. I grew up right near New Orleans East, grew up going to Kenilworth Mall, grew up with the LSU house, the guy with the LSU painted house down on Morrison. Grew up going to one of the first Popeyes ever in the chain. It was like 3rd, 4th, 5th Popeyes over there on Dowman Road at Morrison by the Bunny Bread. Grew up out in New Orleans East. Kenilworth Mall was big time. Then the Plaza was giganticus. And the Plaza had everything. Plaza had the little preppy uptown store, Pearlus, and Adler's Jewelers, and an ice skating rink, and multiple jewelry stores, and every single, you couldn't get a spot in the Plaza. Chick-fil-A in 1975, Chick-fil-A in the Plaza in New Orleans East. Who would have thunk that? The McDonald's was like number 1 in the entire chain. Number 1 McDonald's in the chain. That Plaza was explosive. 1983, oil crash, oil bust, and combined with Johnny Jackson and Sherman Copeland and Section 8 housing going to the east. And it's been on a 40-year decline since. It's on life support, and it's a shame. The 80,000 folks, many black, many Vietnamese, deserve a lot better from the city of New Orleans. We have failed miserably in New Orleans in creating a true black middle class. Failed miserably. Atlanta's done it. Other cities have done it. We failed miserably. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe closed tomorrow, but open tonight for dinner. They're only closed on Tuesday. They'll be back open Wednesday for lunch, but they're open tonight for dinner. Lebanon's Cafe tonight for dinner.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, the cool spots.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City, Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, Trina Edwards is going to marry John Alario. Seriously, I'm not making that up. 44-year-old Trina Edwards is going to marry 79-year-old John Alario. I can tell you what, for 79 years old, John Alario is a really good-looking man. He's just a really good-looking man. For 49 years old, he's a good-looking man. Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, God, John Alario is an ugly dude, but no one looks at John Alario and goes, there's a looker. Jeesh. Anyway, Trina Edwards. You need to check out the NOLA.com article. Have you seen it, Jason? Trina Edwards is making a point in that article. Check it out. Actually, maybe a couple of points. Check it out. NOLA.com. Anyway, Trina Edwards, 44, to marry 79-year-old John Alario. Maybe they could still have a kid. She's 44. She might be able to, get that done. Because God knows we need another riverboat pilot. That's for sure. Anyway, that's good Louisiana stuff. Isn't that special? Coming from the North Shore. You can email us, Corey@CoreyTalks.com. Corey@CoreyTalks.com. Isn't that special? It is special. You need to check out the NOLA.com article. Because, have you seen it, Jason? You see her making a couple of points there? See that, huh? Anyway, check it out. I think Trina Edwards, the story goes, and Trina Edwards, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Trina Edwards was with some, I'm just going to say it's some like old dude in Alexandria, from what I understand. Like an old guy, 70, 80 years old in Alexandria, and she was like, 30 or something. So that was her like, boyfriend or whatever you want to call him then. And then she started like sending letters to Edwin Edwards or something. Cause I don't know, Edwin Edwards is 80 something years old in jail, is such an attractive thing for a young girl. So anyway, he starts sending him letters. Hey, governor. And they meet. And supposedly Edwin Edwards sends a letter to the dude in Alexandria who he knew. Hey, Freddie, it's Edwin Edwards. Hope you're doing well. Hey, by the way, Trina's with me now. Take care. And supposedly the guy in Alexandria is like, okay, governor, glad you're out. Have a good life. Like, Trina's with you now. Okay, that's how it is. So anyway, I think Trina was with some old dude in Alexandria, and then Edwin Edwards, and now John Alario. And I know Alario bought her a house in Baton Rouge. It ain't free. It ain't free. Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to make fun. But if you're near the Cracker Barrel in Gonzales one morning, I think Trina's in Baton Rouge now. They were in Gonzales, I think at Pelican Point, if I'm not mistaken. I used to go play golf over there. And they frequented the Cracker Barrel in Gonzales. They're regular people, that Edwin Edwards. He's just a really good man. And by golly, if he were still alive and he were governor, the state would be doing so well. If we could get Edwin Edwards reincarnated, get Mark Morial back as governor, Bill Jefferson as a congressman, by golly, we'll be number one. The Saints are going to take on that philosophy. They're bringing back J.D. North to coach the team. J.D. North's coming in. And from what I understand, the surgery went really well. Dave Wilson's going to quarterback the Saints. Or Bobby Scott. Get Bobby Scott some reps. He's been holding that clipboard for years. Love Bobby Scott. Wow. I love when folks say stuff like that. Man, if Edwin Edwards was around, what? He'd be lining his pockets and we'd be screwed like we are. He's the foundation of why we're talking right now. Boy, Mark Morial, he was a great mayor for the city. What? What did he do for the city? My God, so desperate for like a leader, you want to pretend Mark Morial was a good mayor? So sad. That's another problem in New Orleans and Louisiana. Black and white Democrats, Republicans in denial about people that are part of, black, white, Republican, Democrat. They're their little clique that suck, and they have to not only pretend they don't suck, they have to sit there and act like they were great, and then they get around a bunch of other like-minded people that think they're great, and they start believing that nonsense. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Hey, best quality, best price, best selection, Rouse's Markets. For over 60 years, over 60 Rouse's, including 20 plus in Metro New Orleans. Like a third of all Rouse's are in Metro New Orleans. Taking care of you. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock Power Hour coming your way next. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. We're on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 television till 5:30. CoreyTalks.com. YouTube. Yeah, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground, our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe. We're on that till 6 o'clock as well. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 3 strikes and the mayor's still not out. The premature target announcement, the no Mardi Gras announcement, now showing up for the 13-year-old carjacking criminal and not caring about the 2 victims. It's unbelievable. What is wrong with this mayor? Just ready, fire, aim. Who are the mayor's key advisors? Because they're terrible or they're scared. It's like Elvis Presley. I couldn't tell him to stop taking the pills. He would have fired me. I don't know who advises the mayor. She makes terrible choices. By the way, I think the mayor is in D.C. now. There was some social media post of her sitting with a coffee from Starbucks on a plane with a mask flying. I don't know if it was first class, second class, third class. All I know is she dance, she move, she shake. It's all good for the city of New Orleans. What's that, Blue Boy? You could lure in more business just being a friendly, cute, good blue boy like you are than LaToya the Destroyer mayor doing nothing but spinning her wheels. I believe that, Blue Boy. I clearly think you're more lovable and people would want to be around you. I agree. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. 5 o'clock Power Hour is now.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix meals, $25 or less for lunch and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Yeah. What an action-packed show. He barely can move, and I wouldn't be scared of him because he's the size of an elephant. It's Cannon.
Cannon.
The size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Starring William Conrad.
Sleeps in an empty swimming pool.
Anthony Zerbe. Special guest star, Donna Winter.
Wow. Donna Winter.
Tonight's episode, Catch Me If You Can.
No problem. You could catch Cannon with a walker pulling like an oxygen tank. No, not Cannon. You could catch him with the walker pulling the little oxygen tank, pulling the IV thing. Cannon, he was a large man with a snub-nosed revolver. His little paw of a hand, it just sort of fit in the little paw of old Cannon. Yeah, you right. No Cannon coming your way. Corey Johnson, 5 o'clock powwow, a summertime, August, Monday afternoon edition of the program. Boy, lots of rain when you go to the weather.com website, huh, Jason? It's absurd. Rain, 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 rain. And just, geez, if you're a weatherman, just, rain chance tomorrow. Have a good night. That's all you got to say. Hey, if it didn't rain, it could be hot. If it is, it'll be in the 80s. If not, it's in the 90s. Rain chance. Don't see too much sunshine in our future, Jason, in the next week and a half. But I don't know about you. If I were a hunter or a fisherman or a golfer or tennis player or landscaper, anyone doing outdoor activity, I wouldn't pay attention to the weather in the sense that you can't. Right now, it's a washout for the next week and a half. Don't kill all plans. You're not going to do that. Still going to work. Still going to play. Probably get in most of it. Scattered thunder showers come and go. Don't hit your area that day. All that kind of stuff. One day you might get adversely affected. We usually get away with it, though. Anyway, that's what we're supposed to have. Some rain this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow. A lot of rain this week. 5 o'clock powwow on this Monday, brought to you by Fury's. About 6 blocks in from the parish line, I worked at that Baskin-Robbins 40 years ago, literally 40 years ago. When I was 15 and 16 years old, 40 years ago, I scooped ice cream for a couple of years at that Baskin-Robbins. There were like 20 kids working there. I was the 20th one, and no one quit. I never moved up. No one came in behind me. I was the 20th person on the list forever. And that meant 3 weekends out of 4, I had to work a Friday and Saturday night, which wrecked my social life as a 15 and 16-year-old. I remember going to this one girl's house, and I had on my Baskin-Robbins striped brown and orange and white shirt with the ice cream spilled on it. She didn't want to hug me and kiss. Anyway, thank you, Baskin-Robbins, for wrecking my social life. Across the street from that Baskin-Robbins that has been in that Wilshire Plaza shopping center, I'd say since the early 70s, since I was a little boy. I remember going in there, and some of the stores weren't built out yet on either side of that Baskin-Robbins. You could see straight through, see the metal girders. So that mall, that Wilshire Plaza, probably opened, I'd say 72-ish. Fury's hasn't been there since 1972, but Fury's has been there since about 1982, 1983, pretty close. About 10 years into that Wilshire Plaza shopping center, Fury's popped up across the street. Nearly 40 years. Fresh, local seafood at Fury's. That's so important. Don't overlook that when I say that. Oh, there goes Corey again talking about Fury's and the fresh local seafood. The place that you go most likely doesn't serve fresh and local anymore. At least some of the stuff. Yeah, Jimmy, we had to cut back. We'd serve tilapia. Yeah, we get the crab meat. Oh, God, I mean, there's so much cheese. You don't notice that the crab meat's pasteurized from China. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Fresh local seafood exclusively, or they're not serving it. If you went into Fury's and it'd be a fluke, we don't have shrimp, we don't have trout. That's because it's not available right now. They're not one but 2 purveyors that have been doing it for decades, didn't have it for some reason. But they've got not 1, 2 great seafood purveyors, always serving up fresh local seafood like speckled trout, like snapper and flounder, fried, broiled, grilled, stuff you get nowhere else. Open till 9 p.m. And yeah, don't forget the gumbo or the turtle soup. Get a cup of that to start. And depending on how many people are in your party, a small or large order of onion rings. Fury's restaurant in Metairie open till 9 p.m. tonight. 5 o'clock powwow hour this afternoon, brought to you by Fury's. Hey, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. In the 70s and 80s, this was the largest black university in America. Enrollment, 70s and 80s. When I was at LSU, it was the largest black university in America. Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Well, I can't even read this one I wrote. Which state has... I can't even read it. Oh, okay. Which state, I had to look at the answer. Which state has the oldest rice mill in America? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. 3 strikes, and LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell, still not out. It's T-ball. Everyone gets a hit. I mean, all within a week. Just 3 major blunders. Hard to. Who are advisors? They're awful. Or she doesn't listen, or she just does her own thing. The Target announcement that was premature last week. Let's hope she didn't screw that deal up. That would be sinful if she screwed that deal up, opening her mouth too early. The no Mardi Gras comment, that's not having positive effects. There are people already, I'm not saying it's countable or a measurable percentage, but there's some people that said, you know what, let's skip Mardi Gras this year and we'll do it next year. We'll go to the Grand Canyon. Families, couples, whatever. The precarious state of New Orleans with that mayor. And now showing up for a 13-year-old carjacking criminal who's not remorseful in the least bit, and showing up backing him in court and not the 2 girls, 19, 20 years old, that were carjacked and traumatized. It's unbelievable. And then Judge Darrensburg making matters worse. No jail time, 3 months probation, a friggin' joke. A joke. Woke Judge Darrensburg not caring. The mayor showing up to support the 13-year-old carjacker, not the 2 girls. And no, I think white, affluent, uptown girls had a lot to do with it. Oh, they've got a support system. They've got friends and family. They'll make it through it. They're traumatized. Care if they're white, affluent, or from uptown? Same justice as anybody else. And those girls did not receive justice. And white, affluent, and uptown had something to do with it, you bet. This woke mentality accelerates when that is seen. No, let's worry about the 13-year-old carjacker. The girl's future's fine. They'll get married. They'll have kids. They'll be fine. Let's worry about the 13-year-old carjacker mostly here. No, let's worry about the criminal, not the victims. And the mayor shows up supporting that person. That's amazing to me. And then Judge Darrensburg slaps that 13-year-old on the wrist who's laughing at the mayor, laughing at the judge, and figuring out how to more effectively carjack a car, even though the kid's 13 and doesn't have a license. Crazy. Unbelievable. I do like this, though. The new Jason Williams is ticked off about it. He's pissed. He does not like the judge's ruling at all on this. Didn't know the mayor was showing up to support this 13-year-old criminal. Unbelievable. You know, it's unbelievable. We talked about it. The mayor with Jay Banks. Let's put Jay Banks into this, role of ambassador of BS. That's what it is. Urban policy specialist making $85,000 a year. Why would the mayor hire Jay Banks? Karen Carter Peterson, there's an article in the Times-Picayune right now. Who were Karen Carter Peterson's accomplices? Today's Times pick, the money funnelers. Jay Banks is one of them. Let's head to the phone lines. Marvin in Marrero. How are you, Marvin?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm down here in John Alario country.
Oh, boy.
Things are pretty good around here, too. I mean, our politicians here, they go for the young girls, too, and the young girls go for our politicians.
Now, John Alario and Trina said they're over the moon, or did they say that Alario's older than the moon? What was the quote?
I don't know, but I thought it was very, very wise of you to mention that we could use another ship captain.
We could use another riverboat pilot. She's 44.
Pilot, yeah, but guess what? He's not a riverboat pilot. He's in charge of all of them. After he committed $1 million worth of damage on one, they stopped him from being a pilot.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the son. Yeah, Marvin, you're talking about his son. Marvin and Marrero, thanks for the
over 30
update.
years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Some rain hitting the metro New Orleans area, depending on where you be. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrell. Now, why would you hire Jay Banks as your ambassador to BS? $85,000 a year, urban policy specialist. No, it's payback. And then you get the sheriff, who's doing a terrible job, brings in this Timothy David Ray, who's disbarred as an attorney, and brings him in as communications director. And then Ray's mother, Deborah Chapman, Hudson's campaign manager, is on the sheriff's payroll at $155,000 a year, with some job in the sheriff's office doing what? Who knows? That's why you need an audit and investigation. What does Deborah Chapman do for $155,000 a year for the sheriff's department? And what does Jay Banks do for $85,000 a year for the mayor? First off, none of these people are special or difference makers or have some crazy leadership skills, Mensa members, crazy IQ. Boy, they're magnets for just positivity, and they bring in great things for the city. It's an economic boost for the city. None of that. And they've got baggage. They're either deviants or criminals or accused of that. Why would you have a disbarred lawyer come in as your communications director? Why would you have Jay Banks, who, according to the FBI, I mean, NOLA.com today, who were Karen Carter Peterson's accomplices, the folks that funneled the money? Jay Banks and his brother have some BS political firm. They took like $500,000 from Karen Carter Peterson and the Louisiana Democrat Party over like a few years. Thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, like nearly $500,000. And the FBI's like, yeah, did nothing or very, very little for it. You know, it's criminal. It's criminal. And hey, let's get Jay Banks on as, our ambassador to BS. Urban policy specialist. What a crock of you-know-what. Now, you know what is weird about Louisiana, New Orleans, where it's painfully broken? Most people are like me and you. We work, we earn what we get. We don't have any BS money coming in, free money, none, zero. We earn every nickel we get, literally. There are some weirdos that live vicariously through these deviant politicians or criminal politicians and kind of they get off on the criminals, or just getting money for not doing anything. They like that. They envy it. They want that. I don't know what it is. It's a sickness in New Orleans and Louisiana. It's crazy. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. In the 70s and 80s, it was the largest black university in America, largest black enrollment of college students in America. Name that university from the 70s and 80s, and I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. I was at LSU in the 80s. I remember that was like nationwide. Which state has the largest rice mill? The oldest rice mill in America? Which state? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Corey Johnson with you. Why no retail in New Orleans East? NOLA.com has an article or articles, kind of a continuing series on New Orleans East. This is painfully easy. We can go in all the sub-stories, lack of leadership, politicians that did nothing or were corrupt, we can go into the oil bust of 83 and Section 8 housing. Thank you, Johnny Jackson and Sherman Copeland. Now, why is there no retail in New Orleans East? The answer is simple. It's obvious. There's no arguing it. There's no secret or trick to it. It's just exactly how it is. It is the United States of America. And black neighborhoods all around America, Latino neighborhoods, the hood, seedy areas. There's development everywhere in America. You go to East LA or Newark, East St. Louis, wherever, there's some development there, a little bit. Now, East St. Louis would be a good example of not a lot of development, not a lot of retail. But why is there no retail in New Orleans East? The real answer is real simple. There is no money in New Orleans East. And when I say no money, no disposable income from the majority of the below middle class, like lower middle class residents of New Orleans East. New Orleans East is a lower middle class area, not middle class. It's not middle class. The average in New Orleans of a middle class person, not median income, family of four, someone who is middle class. And that includes all residents in New Orleans East. The 80,000 are part of the 380,000. It's about $55,000 a year. The median income family of four in Orleans Parish, about $10,000 less than that, maybe $45,000. The income in New Orleans East family of four, about $35,000. So like 20 below middle class, 10 below median income for a family of four in New Orleans. So this is in the black community in a vacuum, black folks only. It is middle class. Amongst all blacks, it's middle class. When blacks and everyone else, Latino, white, Asian, everybody, the whole 380,000 in New Orleans are included. It's lower middle class. And that's the problem why there's no retail in New Orleans East. It's lower middle class. There's not enough disposable income. Chalmette apparently has a little more income, a little more disposable income. Now, for folks that have great jobs and a lot of money coming in, maybe you don't understand it. You don't have empathy. I mean, I'm fortunate. I have a good job. I do okay. I got a waiter friend, waits tables, married, wife, 2 kids. He lives in New Orleans East. I said, why? He goes, because my apartment, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, which is huge. Me and my wife and 2 kids, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths is about $1,000 a month. In Metairie or New Orleans or Kenner or even the West Bank, it's going to be $1,500, $1,800 a month. So he's like, I save $500, $600, $700, $800 every month. That's $7,000-8,000 a year. That's probably 1/6 of my entire take-home pay with me and my wife working too after taxes. 1/6 living in New Orleans East instead of the same apartment in Metairie. Wants to live in Metairie, but it's $700-800 more. So he lives in New Orleans East. There's just not a lot of disposable income. Otherwise, there would be retail in New Orleans East like there's retail in Chalmette. Chalmette's a little more diverse, a little more entrenched, and apparently a little more money and income. And it's black, white, Latino, mostly white. I mean, Chalmette was all white pre-Katrina, probably 80-90% white. Now it's maybe 50-60% white. It's got a large black population, a large Latino population in Chalmette. And obviously some disposable income because there's retail all over Chalmette post-Katrina. And there's not a lot of retail in New Orleans East. And there's obviously not some pre-thought out, folks got together in a barn somewhere and said, hey, let's screw over the people in New Orleans East. No, what happened, what's sad is we have failed miserably in New Orleans in creating a true black middle class, decade in, decade out. Atlanta did it a couple of decades ago. We have failed miserably creating a true black middle class in New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, TV audience, every weekday afternoon, we're with you for 90 minutes of fun, 4 to 5:30. Cox Channel 4 television, all over Louisiana. Spectrum, Channel 333 television, all over Louisiana, 90 minutes of fun. We're heading down in about 25 seconds to straight down 5:30. So we do bid our television audience adieu. Adios. Catch you mañana. 4 o'clock weekdays, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333. The show seamlessly continues on YouTube. Check us out, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe. We're on 93.9 FM. CoreyTalks.com, another way to continue to check out the program. TV audience, mañana. Radio audience and YouTube. And 93.9 audience. We're with you till 6 p.m. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480. Brett Martel, another Martel Monday. Brett will join us. He's been with the Associated Press for 25 years. He'll join us in about 5 minutes on the program. Now, I like getting Brett on. A little sports talk on Monday, a little sports talk on Friday with Fletcher. That's about it. I might bring up something during football season, something I like. I mean, my bread and butter was sports talk until Katrina. Pretty much almost half of my radio and television career was sports talk oriented. But now for the last 17 years or so, it's been the Gumbo program, and a lot more sports, I would say, is sort of almost the least we talk about. A little music, a little food. I like the local New Orleans music scene. I was checking out WOZ the other day. And sometimes I turn it on. I'm like, not for me. Sometimes I turn it on. I'm like, wow, incredible stuff. It is a total gumbo of radio. OZ is one of the most listened to online radio stations in the United States of America. Truly the sounds of New Orleans. The sounds of New Orleans on OZ. 90.7 FM. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring, and it's not just a job, it is a career. East Bankers, West Bankers. Latrim's got you covered at their Elmwood facility. You North Shore folks, Latrim's got you covered at their Hammond facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. 44-year-old Trina Edwards to marry 79-year-old John Ilario. Over the moon or older than the moon? Is that what they were saying about Ilario? Jason showed me this funny photo. He just was like, look, it was Edwin Edwards and Trina Edwards. And honestly, it could have been Trina Edwards at a wax museum with Edwin Edwards as a wax museum figure. I'm not kidding. You're just like eyes round, just staring straight ahead. Is there a pulse? Oh, boy. And then just the creepy photo of Edwin Edwards looking like a wax museum figure, Trina Edwards and the baby. That's 17 generations in one photo. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, Trina Edwards, 44, with a point or two to make. If you go to NOLA.com and check out the article, she's got a point or two to make, by golly. She's 44. She's marrying 79-year-old John Ilario, who is not a good-looking man. Sorry. It's just not. No, he's not a Brad Pitt. No one's a Brad Pitt. There's very few Brad Pitts. He's just on the other side, like fell down the ugly tree and hit all the branches on the way down. Corey, why are you beating up on 79-year-old John Ilario? He's not a good-looking man. What am I supposed to tell you? Can't help it. Older than the moon. What a strange quote to make. Older than the moon. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park. It's not some radio line. Real money, $50 million plus. You don't believe me? Go out to the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner on the car corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10, right on the corner, right on the price. Bring a contractor buddy of yours with you. He'll be like, yeah, it's $50 million of investment. New building after new building after new building. Lamarck Ford, the big store, #1 Ford dealership in the state. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And if you thought that was impressive, the Lamarck Automotive Complex, apparently, Ronnie, just getting started. Legendary Crescent City Ford is now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood and Harahan. Jefferson Highway corner Horde right before Hickory. Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood and the Lamarck Automotive Complex out in Kenna by the lake, brah. Every day this program on radio and television and on YouTube. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top bench of more exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Find decadent dining deals as part of Culinary New Orleans, August 1st through 31st. Treat yourself to prix meals, $25 or less for lunch and $45 or less for dinner and brunch. Visit culinaryneworleans.com and make your reservation today.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Yeah, you, right. Thanks for finding us. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. We're here every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. CoreyTalks.com, another way to check out the program. And we're on YouTube. You can watch us live. You can check us out after the fact. We're on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel and click to subscribe. It don't cost nothing. Corey Johnson with you. Monday afternoon edition of the program. 3 strikes, and apparently you're not out. LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell, the premature Target announcement, the ridiculous no Mardi Gras announcement, and then showing up for the 13-year-old carjacking criminal who was not remorseful at all and not really saying anything or doing anything for the two victims of the carjacking. Absolutely pathetic. Terrible. Who advises the mayor? Because they're terrible. They really are. I do like this, though. The new Jason Williams is pissed off at Judge Darrensburg for giving this 13-year-old kid 3 months probation, and that was it. No jail time. Pathetic. Again, in New Orleans, we care more about criminals than law-abiding citizens. We care more about these criminals than the future of New Orleans. Who were Karen Carter Peterson's accomplices? Check out NOLA.com. Jay Banks, the ambassador of BS for the mayor, getting $85,000 a year as urban policy specialist. He's part of that, and his brother, insane. And the mayor hires him. No, it's crazy. It's like the Sheriff Hudson, hiring her communications director who was a disbarred attorney, whose mother was the campaign manager for Hudson, and she's on the sheriff's payroll at $155. You heard me right, $155,000 a year, doing what? We do not know. Why no retail in New Orleans East? TimesPicayuNola.com doing a series on New Orleans East. The answer is easy. There's not enough disposable income in New Orleans East. There's not enough extra money for folks in New Orleans East to support retail in New Orleans East. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. You know where there's disposable income? Black, white, green, yellow, everybody. Mid-City New Orleans. That is a gumbo. That is true representation of New Orleans, Mid-City. And right smack dab in the middle of it, the pulse, the heart of it, Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a Mid-City mainstay. Really great, lively neighborhood spot, from pizzas to po' boys and lots of New Orleans specialties. Big portions, great for sharing. And don't forget the Katie's of Harahan. Bienvenue, bringing a little Mid-City New Orleans Katie's flavor to Hickory Avenue, right in the curve. Yeah, the Katie's of Harahan, bienvenue. And don't forget about Katie's in Mid-City. A Monday afternoon. Brett Martel joins us. Another edition of Martel Monday. What's happening, Brett? Brett, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not in Mid-City, but I am in Lakeview, where there might also be some disposable income.
Oh, yeah. That demographic totally changed, though. Pre-Katrina, the banks in New Orleans with the largest deposits were Lakeview banks. You know, it's a different generation. I'd say pre-Katrina, Brett, before you moved to Lakeview, I'd say the average age in Lakeview pre-Katrina was probably about 60. Maybe 60 something. And I would say you could chop about 15 years off that. I think it's from like, say, 60 to maybe 40 something years old now. A total shift from elderly retirees to young, early, family folks.
Right. I mean, it was people who thought they wouldn't have a chance to live in Lakeview after Katrina were kind of pioneers in rebuilding it.
Yep.
And it was usually a lot of young parents who were looking for a place to, thought it might have a chance to be a good place to raise a family. I remember how horrible it looked right after Katrina. I was here. I thought the people who moved here were pretty brave. By the time I came in, it was it's pretty well rehabilitated. But we also built on an empty lot, that had a house raised after raised RAZED torn down.
Yeah, not SED.
After Katrina. So.
No, and a lot of folks taking advantage of the lot next door, paying like $40,000 and picking up a lot. And you're like, wow, I can't believe it. But like you said, Lakeview was wrecked. It was a mess. And it took years to come back, and that was Lakeview. So the $40,000 lot next door, that at that time just looked like, okay, but now it looks like what a steal.
Yeah, I think Lakeview took, between 5 and 10 years to really look like it had come back. And we got our empty lot in 2015 or 16 or so and built in 2018. So, There's still a few empty lots left.
What a sad existence for me, Jason. I pull up to Brett's house. I'm like, wow, Brett, you live in a real house. I'm like, what do you live in, Corey? You live in a real house too. Now, Brett has a pretty nice house. It's not like it's some mansion. It's just new and modern and cool. A little outdoor courtyard cooking area. You kind of enter outside before you enter the house. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Your brother's not too far away either.
What's that?
Your brother's not too far from here either.
No, my brother's right over by UNO, right down the street, right down Allen to St. Boulevard.
Yep, I've seen him walking his dog over there.
Hey, Brett, first off, I don't know. I can't figure out the media sometimes. I'm just watching a little bit of preseason action. That Penning kid is starting at left tackle, and he's a mauler. I mean, he's got a few little things he needs to work on, maybe pass protection, but run blocking, I mean, that kid's as good as it gets right now. And I can see now why, Dennis Allen penciled him in as a left tackle and felt confident he could start there. I still say you move Ramczyk to left, and you should have pre-camp. Move Ramczyk to left tackle. He's the best lineman on the team, one of the best in the NFL, and left tackle is so important. And you put the Penning kid at right tackle, and then in a few years he could take over. But I think this Penning kid, just from the little bit I'm watching, he's starting come September 11th.
It's likely, especially now that Hurst is dealing with an undisclosed injury.
Oh, Hurst is hurt?
Well, yeah, he got hurt in the joint practices in Green Bay last week, didn't play in the preseason game, although that's not unusual for a projected starter. Now, I think Hurst entered training camp as a projected starter because Penning was raw, and Hurst had proved in a number of starts last year, albeit, it was more of a utility backup spot starter that he was competent playing, guard and tackle. Although some of Hurst's starts really came as like when they were in the jumbo package, but you can definitely see again the jumbo package, and that's where they, instead of having like a tight end, they have 3 offensive tackles and 2 on one side. You can see that with Penning and Hurst being together and running the ball to the left side with Andrews, Pete, Penning and Hurst all blocking over there, and maybe Alvin Kamara, one of the elite running backs, running behind those 3 guys. You got to think that's a good bet for a short yardage game when you need it, So, if they stay healthy, if Hurst comes back healthy, they'll definitely have a really strong offensive line. It would 6 deep, for sure.
Yep.
And that's that would bode well. They needed that last year, and they didn't have it. They just had too many injuries last year. But
Hey, Brett, Friday, the home opener in the Dome preseason, final preseason game, third and final preseason game. Jameis Winston starting, and Lattimore is going to play, and Kamara. I mean, it's going to be more of like a series or 2 of what it will look like in 3 weeks.
I don't know. It's hard to, they haven't said that yet. And Bobby Aber asked Dennis Allen today if he'd be comfortable with Jameis Winston taking his very first live snap in Atlanta in the regular season opener. And Allen said that he would be comfortable with that. It's maybe not ideal, but Winston did have that sprained right foot. He's back at practice now, and participated in 11-on-11 drills today for the first time in really more than a week.
Nice.
So he could potentially play a series. If he really wants to, and the team would
I think that's ideal. I obviously Jameis Winston knows the system, can go in and start right away with no preseason games. But wouldn't you? Look at Tom Brady. And I'm not trying to compare Winston to Tom Brady. I'm just saying veterans that have been around a few years kind of know what's going on. But unlike Tom Brady, who doesn't need camp at all, Jameis Winston needs the reps, and it would help him. And plus, just the continuity. And here's our starting lineup, and this is what it looks like. I don't know. That's what I would think you'd want to see. All your starters on offense, all your starters on defense, the final preseason game, because there's not 4, there's only 3. Treat it like when there were 4, how you would do that third preseason game. And then you got 16 days in between that final preseason game and the regular season game in Atlanta. And then you still have another week to get down to the 53 after this week, right?
Right. I mean, I would say if the starters play a quarter, say, in that third preseason game, you're minimizing risk of injury by the fact that they're only playing one quarter, and then you're minimizing the risk of them missing the opener by the fact that they do have a couple weeks Keely, if they had something minor, say, it would only be a major injury that would, or maybe like a hamstring or something that required arthroscopic surgery that would keep them out a month, that would cause them to miss a couple games. But, yeah, I mean, you could see the wisdom in, especially with some new receivers in the mix.
Yep.
Landry, Olave. Don't know if Michael Thomas can play now because he's dealing with a hamstring that cropped up in the practices in Green Bay late last week. So don't know if he's going to be able to play at all in this preseason. But that he'll be effective when he comes back.
I remember those 3 7-9 seasons in a row under Peyton. Right before they hired Jeff Ireland, it was like a 5-year period. The Saints averaged 1 player a draft making that team. They had 5 players in 5 years from the draft on the roster. So you have a 53-man roster. You have 5 players from the draft. They're hitting 10%. New England had, what was it? I think they had 20 players from the 5 previous drafts. Not 5, 20 on their 53-man roster, or 40% of their players, not 10%, from the draft in 5 years. That's why New England was contending for Super Bowls, and the Saints were 3 years of 7-9 in a row. Also, Brett, I remember back in those 7 and 9 years when you talk about top 5 Saint players. First off, you couldn't talk too much past the 5, and Morstead was one, and Max Unger was one. So that's a problem. And you only could come up with 5 and your punters 1. My point is, to be a really good NFL team, you have to have double-digit stars. You got to have 10 or more stars. And to be a Super Bowl contender, it'd be nice to get into the teens. For the Saints, it's pretty easy, Brett, to rattle off, I don't know, the first 6, 7, or 8 or something like that.
Right.
Do they have another 6, 7, or 8? I think they do. Are there, a dozen stars? I mean, the Lattimore, Thomas, Kamara, Ramczyk, Jordan, Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, even. Those are easy. Who are the next 7?
Well, I think that, Eric McCoy's turned out to be a very good center.
That's one.
Penning, like you said, could emerge as a real beast at the tackle spot.
Who already is? I'm missing,
Well, Olave, did you mention him? He could end up.
Well, Olave's like Penning, but who's like McCoy? McCoy's one of the best centers. He's definitely one of these top guys.
Davenport, Jordan. You're hoping that the previous year's first-round pick Peyton Turner can emerge as something and someone impactful. DeMario Davis, and then in the backfield, I mean, Paulson Adebo. You'd think Bradley Roby would be the starter, but Paulson Adebo did so well as a rookie, he might be the starter instead, and Roby might be the third cornerback in, and then
Garner Johnson is one.
Then in the back, you have Matthew, Marcus May. We'll see how he does, but a lot of the Jets. I know some Jets media thought he was really, really good back there.
So we're getting close. We're at about, we're rolling past double digits. So I think if you can get it into the teens, players that,
Will Lutz back, and he's a good kicker. He hit one from 50.
No, you're right. Lutz is one of them.
And then their new punter, actually, you mentioned more.
They drug tested him after the 81-yard bomb, I heard.
Right.
He's on steroids.
And then Deontay Harris also is interesting.
Deontay Harris is you're right, Brett. No, see, now we're creeping into the teens. You get into the low teens, Brett, you're a playoff team, and you can even make a deep run. You have 9 or 10, you might make the playoffs, but you're not making a deep run. And if you only have 5, you're that 7 and 9 team we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. 7 and 9 from 2014, 15, and 16. Also 2012, although Peyton wasn't coaching that year.
Yep.
So it was really 4 out of 5 years. I mean, they made the playoffs in 2013, but in 4 out of 5 years, including the Bounty suspension year, they were 7-9. That was a pretty rough stretch overall, I think, for the Saints. But then they were great from 17 to 20.
A former wise man used to cover sports that I knew, and he stopped after like 5 years and got into like news for like 40. And I was like, why? And he said, I was tired of printing their lies. And it was a little deeper than that. He just meant there's always an optimism every year with every team. And, you know, he was covering 2-9 Tulane teams and stuff like that. There's an optimism with the Saints this year. And there's an wow, on-air sneeze. That's a first. And there's a
not on TV.
There's exactly on YouTube and on television and on radio. There's I covered my mouth, Brett. There's an optimism up in Baton Rouge with Brian Kelly a lot, especially with the national pundits that kind of given like that outside the bubble view. I don't think they know the lack of depth on this LSU team and maybe how decimated it is post Orgeron. And maybe that's just me looking too into it in a negative way, like a lot of us look into, say, the Saints right now in maybe too much of a positive way, let's say. But the national pundits like Kelly, they think there's enough talent and he'll come in and maybe go 8-4, something like that. There's an optimism.
So Saban went 8-4 his first year after taking over a team that had gone 3-8 the year before.
Yeah, 2 losing seasons in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so they had gone 3-8 the year before. Saban came in and went 8-4, and I think the regular season they won the Peach Bowl, if I remember right, for 9-4 overall. And then the next year they won the Sugar Bowl, if I remember, and then they had a little bit of a hiccup the third year, and then won the national title the fourth year. But yeah, I mean, they're looking at, you know, Brian Kelly as, you know, a hyper-organized, highly professional, very intelligent coach who has a plan. And LSU is a place that always seems to have a lot of talent. And if you can just, you know, harness the talent, then you're at least a 7-8 win team.
No, with Orgeron, it was the local guy, the Cajun guy, emotion, one of us, all of that. This guy is like, wow, it's Jim Mora type, you know, it's Sean Payton type, you know, kind of, you know, regimented, organized, logical, less emotion, more logic, more of a CEO than, you know, a rah-rah type guy.
Yeah, I think he's really a rational, analytical type of guy who happens to be a very good offensive coach as well, and particularly as it pertains to offensive line. And, yeah, I mean, at every level, he's won. In college,
he's won
big. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with it's the fourth quarter in depth, especially as the season progresses. That's the big worry for me with LSU. Hey, Brett, always a pleasure. We'll see you next Monday.
All right. Great show, Corey. Take care.
That's Brett Martel. Check out all his stuff via the AP. Get that app. 93.9 FM New Orleans. That's Blue Boys saying, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 4.